My daughter started preschool way back in 2011 when she was 3. At the time, I wanted to give her a chance at preschool, but I was super nervous and I knew we would have to make sure we had an amazing food allergy plan in place. Just like all of you other food allergy moms, I took the challenge straight on and did what I thought was best for my child. And yes, she got through preschool safely, all the way up to grade 11 in 2024. But because there's so much trial and error, it wasn't without a whole lot of stress on my part. Honestly, a lot of the first few years of school with food allergies was grasping at straws. I felt like I was trying to figure out exactly what needed to be done and how to convey information to the teachers. I knew what I wanted, but I had no idea how to make it happen. Unfortunately, it meant that I focused on the wrong things a lot. I wasted opportunities to educate teachers, or maybe I educated when the time wasn't right and they weren't open to listening. Each time I hoped that something would stick, and each year, once I'd finally feel like we might have an amazing food allergy plan sorted out, the year would end and I'd be back to square one with the next teacher. Maybe this sounds familiar to you, maybe it doesn't. And I have to say that the first 5 to 8 years were rough, but they were filled with experiences that I learned from and used to make things better in the future. Looking back now, there are a few clear mistakes that I made with our food allergy plan that would have made life easier from the start. Now remember, I use the word school in this post, but this is going to apply to daycare, preschool, play school, and even middle and high school too. Today, I'm sharing 3 essential things that I have learned that I know will help you keep your child safer at school as well. Let's get to it. Hey food allergy mama, if you're here, you've likely experienced the scary and lonely food allergy diagnosis with your child. Unfortunately, food allergy parents aren't taught how to navigate the food allergy lifestyle, and it's easy to feel alone and discouraged sometimes. But I'm here to show you that food allergy life doesn't have to feel restrictive, scary, or isolated. I'm Corinna, and I'm a 17-year food allergy mom and food allergy coach at Friendly Pantry Consulting. I specialize in making food allergy life safer and less worrisome for food allergy families like yours. I'm not perfect, but over 17 years, I've learned a lot the hard way, and I'm sharing the secrets and resources you won't hear anywhere else that will help you feel confident living with food allergies faster and easier than I did. From introducing allergens, travel, navigating school, and educating friends and family, this podcast will give you the essential tips and strategies you need to help your food allergy child and family thrive. Welcome to the show. If you're listening to this at the time it drops, that would be July 2024, I need you to know that I'm having a summer sale. If you've been thinking about getting the school allergy plan template, which is a must-have school supply, or any of my other workshops or templates, just use code SUMMERSALE15 and you're going to get 15% off any of the base workshops or templates. After this sale, I'm actually going to streamline my workshops, so I will be getting rid of a few. So if you have been waiting, now's the time to take advantage of this special 15% off Summer Sale 15 coupon code that you can use for all of my workshops. It's going to be over July 31st, 2024, so do not wait. It's coming very quickly. All right, so the first thing that I wish I would have known sooner was that I shouldn't be so overly secure with the school's allergen restriction policy. Okay, so friends, if you have a nut or peanut allergy, you're probably aware of nut-free schools or nut-aware schools. And if you do not have this allergy, you have like a milk allergy or wheat allergy or something different, hang tight, listen up, because this is going to help you as well, even though I'm talking specifically about nut-aware policies. Okay, full disclosure here, when our school had the peanut and nut free policy, it was a tremendous source of comfort for me, especially when my daughter was in the younger grades. So I understand this feeling of just having something that kind of keeps them as safe as possible. But even though it offers comfort, I didn't realize the policies have some major faults, and I want to explain that here. Here's what I've learned after several years of being in a school with a peanut and tree nut awareness policy. Basically, as much as the school tries to keep nuts out, there are always nuts there. We saw PB&J sandwiches, we saw Nutella snacks. My kids would see them around at recess, they would see them in the cafeteria, and even if the school is hypervigilant, this is honestly the reality. At first, I thought it was going to be rare events, but after it happened many, many times, I realized this is a constant battle. And here's the thing. Just like us, teachers also take comfort in those allergen restriction policies. This means that they may not be taking other more important allergy precautions, like maybe getting kids to wash hands after they eat. This leads to a false sense of security and can be dangerous. Recently, there was a study done that examined whether peanut and nut-free policies were effective. And now there's a lot to be considered here, but in general, the study showed that epinephrine use at school did not decrease when peanut and nut-free policies were in place. So I think that this could mean a few things, and there's some reasonable explanations for this, but it does show that we can't solely depend on these policies to keep our food allergy kids safe. Not only that, but restricting 1 or 2 allergens does nothing for our friends who have different allergies that are not restricted. Okay, so how can you avoid this problem? Well, consider that a school ban on your child's allergen may not work the best. Instead, talk with your teacher in school and discuss the best options for the circumstances. If you have a young child, it might still mean that allergen removal from your child's class is the best thing, but don't assume this because there might be other precautions, and there probably are other precautions that are actually better at keeping your child safe. If your child has peanut and nut allergies and the school has a peanut and nut allergy restriction policy, don't assume that it works. Instead, find out how it's enforced and whether the culture of your school causes compliance from other parents or resentment, because resentment can cause people to bend the rules. Then create a solid food allergy plan with your teacher in school that discusses cross-contact, inclusiveness, and staff and peer education. The second thing that I wish I knew earlier when it comes to food allergies at school was that I can't trust that every teacher knows what they need to know to keep a food allergy kid safe. I was really wrong on this one. Honestly, we've had some amazing teachers who fully understand food allergies, but I would have to say that most have not been this way. Even the teachers that understood food allergies didn't really think too much about inclusiveness. I can say for sure that I've needed to teach every single teacher we've had at least 1 or 2 important things, because even teachers that have a great understanding of food allergies may not know how to effectively deal with it in the classroom. This plagued me for the first few years. Instead of going over everything with every teacher, I usually focused on discussing things that the previous year's teachers struggled with. This would start out okay, only to find out a month or 2 later that I missed discussing something really important. These days, I always assume the teacher wants to help my daughter and that they're doing their best. I don't assume, however, that they know how to keep my food allergy daughter safe at school, and instead I work with them to make a solid food allergy plan and ensure that they understand it fully. So how can you avoid this mistake? Number 1, as I just talked about, assume the best of your teacher. This is going to get you much further during your discussions and if difficulties arise. Number 2, figure out precisely what your teacher knows about the food allergy basics like cross-contact, emergency plans, epinephrine use, and safe foods. Number 3, fill in the blanks for them without overwhelming them with information. So I know a lot of you create an allergy binder, and if you go this route, please make sure it is simple and concise. If you put too much information in there, you're in danger of making it overwhelming. It may get thumbed through 1 or 2 pages read at best, but it's likely going to get shelved. And that's because overwhelm is real. It's real for all of us, especially an overworked teacher. Instead, I would say to check out my school allergy plan template that I've created over 14 years. It covers what's important without being overwhelming. The third thing I wish I knew about food allergies at school sooner is that I need to learn how to effectively educate others. Here's what I mean by this. I had goals. I wanted to prevent an anaphylactic reaction for my daughter, and I wanted to make sure that teachers and others knew what to do if there was a reaction, and I also wanted to keep her included. I think it's safe to say that that's what every food allergy mom wants. But after several years, I learned that going from what I want to it actually happening is really different. And a big part of that is how I educate and advocate for my child. For example, think about how you felt when your child was first diagnosed with food allergies. You probably had no idea how it would affect your life or even where to start. Maybe you had heard a lot of false information in the past and you had to relearn the real facts about food allergies so that you could keep your child safe. Your teacher is probably in the same boat. They probably don't know if they're believing myths or facts about food allergies. And that's the thing. It takes a lot more than just giving that teacher a binder of allergy information because it may just get skimmed or shelved at worst. The important thing is to make sure that that teacher realizes the huge impact they have on your child's safety and inclusion. When they understand that, they are usually more open to learning about food allergies and how to keep your child safe and included. Here's how you avoid this problem. Number 1, identify the false information about food allergies that your teacher is thinking about and address it before you do anything else. Be pleasant and easy to deal with when you're working with your teacher in school. Remember that you're a team and a friendly, clear communication is important. And number 3, get help from a food allergy mentor that you trust. Don't make the mistake thinking you should figure this all out on your own. Getting help could allow a more safe and inclusive classroom right from the start instead of feeling fear, frustration, and worry every time you drop your child off. Even though I made mistakes with our food allergy plan along the way, I've learned from these mistakes and use these lessons to improve how I deal with our school and teachers every year. I believe that an allergy-friendly school year where my child is safe and included starts with a confident teacher meeting every year. Remember, it's not about providing binders and binders of information or demanding what you want. We can help teachers help us by giving them the right information without overwhelming them. If you need help with what to ask your school or daycare and to create the best food allergy plan for your child, I've created a thorough template with everything you need. Learn more by clicking the link in the show notes. So what do you think? What was the most surprising thing that you learned in this episode? Let me know by sending me a DM on Instagram at Friendly Pantry. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for listening and bye for now. Before you go, Mama, if you love this episode and want deeper support, head over to friendlypantry.com to see how we can partner together to keep your food allergy child safer and worry less. There's no need for wasting time searching all over Instagram, TikTok, and the web to get the practical knowledge you need for your family. While you're there, grab your free Food Allergy Kids Empowerment Guide or the newly diagnosed checklist today. Topics are not medical advice and are the opinions, views, and property of Friendly Pantry Consulting Incorporated. All rights reserved. Always contact your board-certified allergist immunologist for health advice.